Hey guys, it's me, SwitchBackMongo, and we're doing something a bit different today. January seems to be a bit of a weird time for Minecraft YouTubers, kind of when videos aren't seen by as many people as they normally are, so I figured it's a good time to try something I wouldn't normally do. And that's kind of making a video that's more personal, like I'm talking to you. Because I think that's kind of something that's missing on a lot of Minecraft channels lately. And a lot of videos that I've seen, and a lot of videos that I've started to make myself, I think the YouTuber is very separate from the project and from the video. There's not really that connection in Let's Play channels like there used to be, I feel like. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I just don't realize that people kind of interact in different ways now. I mean, people are constantly changing, so it would make sense. But it's at least how I feel with the videos that I make lately. I feel like I don't talk to you enough. Now, I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna be titling this video yet, but I'm going to imagine it'll be along the lines of something like, I'm quitting my hardcore world. And I'm sure with a title like that, a lot of you have come here to hear why. To get this one off the table, no, I have not died. I am in a backup right now, though. I would not be in the real hardcore world with no armor on, that's for sure. But really, the answer is not simple. I've struggled over the past few months to try to figure out how to put my feelings into words. And really, it's just such a wide mix that I just can't figure it out. But I tried a new approach the other day that I think is actually going to make it pretty easy for you all to understand where I'm coming from and kind of see what I'm seeing. And that was to do a world tour, actually. I've never actually done just a real walkthrough world tour, but I went back and retraced all of my steps from the first day ever that I spawned and all the way back to here at my 1.18 base. And it's probably not going to be a world tour like you've seen from other hardcore or survival YouTubers. It's mostly to get an idea of, you know, how I felt as I progressed through the world. And so I know this news is probably going to be pretty sad to a lot of you. I know this is the oldest series I have on my channel, and the thing that started it off altogether. It's how a lot of you probably found me. But I think by the end of the video, it will all make sense to you. And there will be some things for you to be excited about too. And if you kind of just want to hear the short answer version of all this, I'll try to summarize it the best I can at the end of the video, and I'll leave a chapter plus a timestamp in the description that you can get to. But for now, I just want to thank you all for coming on this journey with me. It's been amazing to see how many people have found this series and have actually enjoyed to follow it along from the very beginning. We've made a lot of memories along the way, so what I want to do now is go all the way back to the beginning, and let's relive some of those. Hope you enjoy the video. Here I am, standing in a pit. It's not anything special. I tried to come up with some symbolic meaning behind spawning in this pit, but there isn't any. It's just where I spawned. I didn't really see a whole lot on the first day. I remember I thought that was super cool.
What is this? What is that mess?
I still think it's super cool. Is the sign still up there? Day 617, right? I do, however, still have my first tree here. Say what you want about not fully chopping trees down, but I'm glad to know that my first one's still here. I didn't realize I'm sort of obstructing my view a little bit with this iron farm now. The first thing that I saw after taking this tree down was a desert village way over there.
That might be a sand village over there. Desert village. Y'all gonna be like, sand village? What is this kid talking about?
I mined some hay here. I remember that much. It was probably right there. This place feels very eerie and empty. There was probably, a lot of hay here that I've taken over the time. Mined my first iron right there. Back on day one. It's kind of funny because I remember I used this land to get a bunch of blue flowers, and I thought that's gonna be weird because in episode 1 there were all these blue flowers here, and now they're just not gonna be here anymore. But I didn't care. I needed the blue dye. I don't remember what for, but I needed the blue dye. Look at this guy. What are you doing? What are you doing here? What do you have? Oh yeah, you would bring me drip leaf now. I was waiting for that forever in 1.17, and he didn't deliver it to me one time. That's kind of messed up. I gotta take a screenshot of that. I saw my first ruined portal somewhere over here. I thought these were crazy. I started this world on a 1.16 snapshot, and this was the first one I ever saw. And I didn't loot the whole thing. That's impressive. That clock's been in there since day one, huh?
Chow with no brim.
My second village is pretty special to me, because I have managed to leave a crafting table here since episode 1. I crafted my iron armor right here, and I crafted my first acacia boat right here to make my way to that ruined portal. It's little things like that that you just have no memory of if it wasn't all recorded. Left some gold pants in there. Oh, Curse of Binding. Yeah, that would have been pretty bad for hardcore. It was with that acacia boat, though, that I did manage to find a place to call home.
Maybe I should live right on the shoreline, be on the plains biome, but then we would have a big view of the sick biome, right? That'd be cool.
And still, I have the boat that got me here. That is the original acacia boat from episode 1. I liked this spot. I thought it was pretty cool. Spent a lot of time fishing right here. That's probably up there as far as the rank of memories go in this world. I think I got the majority of my enchantments this way. Just standing right here. I remember I was proud of this house. Very proud of this house, actually. There's not a lot of room in here. Not really much to look at, but I liked it, I guess. I remember fishing right here and just imagining a wall of builds surrounding this lake, and that was my goal. I had the idea to maybe try to build stuff here before even fighting the Ender Dragon, just to make sure that I would actually have some builds done, because I really wasn't sure that I would survive the dragon fight. I thought that there was a pretty good chance that I wouldn't return home after that. But clearly my impatience made me want to try anyway. I really just wanted the elytra. Hey, cows. An Enderman almost got you to escape out of here. I was actually really excited that you guys have been in this fence since the very early days of this world, and Enderman almost ruined that. The old iron farm, the new iron farm, the mob spawner that I'm pretty sure doesn't even run anymore. I think I've permanently turned that off. But that's to make up for the creeper farm. I wanted the creeper farm to run instead. Sadly, you never really get to see it run from here. It only runs if you stand way up above it. But there's the proof that it does in fact run. This is my first real build. It's my sugarcane farm. It's like a rainforest cafe. And rainforest cafes are pretty cool. I thought having it as an entrance to the rest of the base was the coolest thing at the time. And each room was sort of just chosen based on whatever I needed at the time. After paper, I needed pumpkins and melons. So that's what this room's for. I think that's a good way to design a base. At least one where you're living underground like me. After the pumpkin melons, I needed a wheat farm because beef was my main food supply. I needed to feed my cows. The cows from the orange fence now live down here. That was a fun process, moving them all down. Hey, Puppo. I'm bringing some fresh meat. All right, check it out. This is cool, right? Let's go. Let's hop in. And then this was the place I was the most excited about. The whole reason I lived underground was because of the idea that I had for this. I just imagined the big room with the big water tank and a tree inside. And actually, my original idea was to have my auto sorter sort of run in the same room as this here. But I'm kind of glad that I didn't do that, because I think this room below the big room turned out way nicer. This is still probably one of my favorite areas in this world. Are you okay, buddy? What are you doing? I think a lot of new builders spend their time designing underground. And I was new when I started this world. Hadn't really played much. But honestly, I still think I prefer living underground. I think it's more fun, especially in hardcore. I feel safe down here. Free. I feel free. Above ground, you never really know where things could be hiding, but underground, carving out the space yourself, you know exactly where everything is. This is where I saw my fortress the first time. I approached it from above, like the real Minecrafters do. I was definitely a nervous player. I don't know why I wouldn't have wanted to boat down there. Instead, I chose to mine these stairs all the way down to the fortress. Maybe it was just to make it easier for me to get back up. I've since turned it into a makeshift wither skeleton farm. I just tried to flatten out the area as much as possible. And I just run back and forth here for hours. This room's still pretty nice. I've redesigned my portal room. Much better than the ones that I only half designed. I can't believe I never came back to actually finish the other two when I was gonna do all three in the one episode. It doesn't matter though, because I only ever went to the one. This map is still pretty cool. I do like that. And I do still really like this project. For some of you, you haven't actually seen this place since it was fixed. Last time you would have seen it was the 3000 days video when it got destroyed by the Ender Dragon. I did have to respawn it here. But we did actually come back and repair most of it on stream. I didn't really want to put it in any episodes because it would have been footage of repeating things that we had already done. But we did decide, since 1.17 had just come out, we did replace all of the broken white concrete with calcite. That way, it sort of symbolizes where things were broken and what things actually managed to survive. And obviously, there's still some bits that didn't get fixed. That's fine, though. Surprisingly, though, after spending something like, I don't know, 15 weeks in the end here working on this big island, I still think this, that we spent only 1 week on, actually, I think I only spent like a stream and then a Saturday on, it's still my favorite part of it. I almost wish that we just made a bigger version of this floating island for the main island. That's okay though, there's always a next time. Another little piece of history that I like to keep around. This is my first end portal, and the cobblestone frame that I had made, thinking that it would protect me from throwing a pearl through it and into the void to my death, which I'm pretty sure that's just not how these portals work anyway. But it made me feel safe. I spent a lot of time here. I had lots of fun. I was always a little bit scared of this, thinking I'd somehow fall off of the edge and through the water. Oh my gosh, I actually forgot about this netherrack block. Oh my goodness.
No. This is gonna be a memorial block. That boy right there. And then when I hit 10 years on this hardcore world, because I'm never, ever, ever gonna die, it's gonna be like, man, that was that time. That was that time that he dropped that one block. It's gonna be crazy.
And I put it there specifically to remind myself what happened. I dropped one piece of endstone off the edge there, didn't I? That's what it was, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was endstone that I dropped off the edge. This is where my original bridge over to the main island started, actually, that I must have made in episode 5-ish. And actually, I made sure to keep all of the pieces that I used to build it in this chest here. Because I really didn't want to destroy it, actually. I like keeping things around. This project is probably the most special to me. The few months that I spent working on this were probably the most growing months I've ever had on my channel. This is the project where I went from pretty much having 0 viewers that I didn't know personally, I just had my friends watching the videos and the streams, to having a lot of you watch my videos and streams. For a lot of you, this is probably the first thing that you saw me work on, and that's pretty cool. It makes me a little bit sad to stand here. It makes me think back to the very late nights that we spent working on this on Twitch. To think that playing 8 hours straight on a Friday night was my typical way to end a week is crazy. I still love this game, but I can't sit and play it for 8 hours straight anymore. I can't do anything for 8 hours straight. I don't know how I did it. But this project probably makes me feel the most out of anything I've worked on here. A lot of happiness, a lot of good memories, and it also makes me kind of wish that I was still in the same place as I was when I was working on this. There's a sense of freedom that you have when you're playing the game for yourself and not an audience. And it's not something that you realize until you have an audience, I guess. This project was a vision in my head. It's what I wanted to build, and I was just doing it. And I think that's why it was so easy to go on the long grinding sessions that I was doing. And it was sort of the same as I was finishing up the mega base as well. I probably peaked with those 2 projects as far as motivation goes. What do you want? What? Get out of my shot! And I say that this project makes me feel a lot of things because it's a little bit sad to think that I don't have the same experience in the game anymore as I did here. I don't really play the game on my own without recording something. And I feel like a lot of my ideas are sort of driven by what I think is good for videos, which is probably not a good thing to do or a good way to play the game. But as much as Minecraft is a hobby, YouTube's also a hobby. And I kind of have to think of both equally, I think. I still go back and watch the episodes of working on this project pretty frequently, actually. I think day 1000 to 2000 was probably the period where I accomplished the most as far as skill development in building and also hardcore itself. I mean, getting the how did we get here advancement right before finishing this project was probably the best I've ever felt in the game. Yeah, dude, that's what I'm talking about. Oh my god, I'm so over this. I made the right call not taking away any of the blocks from here, leaving it exactly as it was the day that it happened. Still the only shulker I've ever brought to the overworld, even though I've seen a lot of people do it for shulker farms now. What a mess it was to get him here. I think if I had one piece of advice for anybody getting into survival Minecraft or hardcore Minecraft for the first time, I think it would be, don't clean up. Because the messes are what become memories. I am far more fascinated with looking at this stuff than I am my big builds. I'm much more proud of the big builds, but I think running into these things, the how did we get here setup, the day 617 poggers sign that I have on top of the mountain over there, the crafting table where I crafted my first acacia boat in the village over there, I think those places are where I have the strongest emotional response in my hardcore world. And maybe that's just because I have sort of immortalized my feelings with all of the builds through the videos that I've made. But I think there's still some truth to what I'm saying. I feel like even in my old survival worlds, if I were to find the little tiny messes like this, I think I'd be far more intrigued than the builds. Because you remember the builds so well. But these little things you think are just such a small piece of your world, but you know, all those small pieces add up. So don't clean up. You leave the messes out. Don't leave the crafting table where you found it. Don't craft a new crafting table every time you need one. But if it's at a place that you're using it a lot, leave it there. Just leave it there. While we're back here, how good does my iron farm still run? Last I checked, it was pretty nice. Such a weird design. I don't think I've ever seen anyone make an iron farm this way. It's usually, I guess, it's kind of cool because most iron farms are usually made up in the sky, I think, on YouTube. Most people kind of, you know, lay them out over the ocean or wherever they're gonna put them. But having this sort of underground setting, which gives me like cowboy vibes for some reason, I think is maybe one of the more me projects I've made. I think it might be one of the kind of designs that if somebody saw it, they'd be like, oh yeah, that's a SwitchBackMongo build, instead of, you know, the end project where I think the end project is sort of low-hanging fruit. I think anybody could have designed that. But this, I think my brain would go here, while most other brains probably would go to building it over the ocean or something. Oh, it runs very well. Wait, it's almost full. Oh my. I guess I'm choosing a good time to pause the hardcore world. If I ever come back, I have tons of iron, and if I don't need it, I have a chore to do when I come back. I'm gonna have to clean this out right away. You like that? Me walking up the stairs there? I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, building a base and building the end project, I felt like I was on top of the world in my hardcore world. I was stacked out to the brim with gear. My skills as a builder were growing. I felt like I could make anything that I could ever want. It was very exciting to see growth on the YouTube channel, and I just couldn't be happier with what I was doing at the time. But this, as much as I am sure people wouldn't want to hear me say, this is actually where I wanted the series to end. And it's not like I wasn't having fun anymore. I mean, this was the most impressive project I'd ever made. Probably the most proud I've ever been of a build. And I was still pretty motivated, honestly. But I think at the close of this project, my hardcore world became a product of something that was really cool. I started this hardcore world pretty much right at the exact same time that I began my final year of college. And it was my goal to maintain weekly uploads and steady progress throughout it until I graduated. And I accomplished that. I had episodes every week, got all the way to day 3,000. I had 3 major projects done, and we also hit a major channel milestone. I don't remember which one it was. It was probably 20 or 25,000 subscribers, all within the year, and it all happened right here. I watched the sunrise of day 3,000 with many of you, whether it was on Twitch Live or in the episode where we actually hit it. And to end right here would have made it a time capsule, almost, I think is the way to describe it. A time capsule of all of my free time through graduate school and everything that I'd accomplished up until then within my first year of YouTube and playing Minecraft for a series. It would have been a cool, poetic ending, and the fact that I kept pushing on, I think, is what has sort of led me to where I am now. But let's check this place out before I talk about where that is. It's been a while since I've spent any time in this courtyard, and it does feel really cool. It does kind of feel like I'm not in an ocean, especially since the glass is sort of busted with these mods. It doesn't really look like there's water out there, but there is. The acacia was definitely a good call. I don't know about the blackstone. I think when I started adding the blackstone, I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted it to be. There's a lot of cool stuff in this project, but there's also a lot of things that I think could have been done a lot better. This whole room is kind of weird. I have so much empty space in here. I mean, like, what's the point of this room? There is no point. It's just to look at the thing and then run around, I guess. Are there any mobs in here? This room is no longer spawn-proof like it used to be. I'm glad that still works. That's sick. Auto sorter still works. This definitely looked a lot cooler when it was all bedrock. It's kind of weird as deep slate in my opinion. I've collected a lot of prismarine down in here. Lots and lots of prismarine. Favorite block in the game. Still is, after all this time. My villagers are all still hanging out there in the water. They look like they're having a good time. What's up, boys? Oh, there's my original project area. That's where I used to store everything. Things that I never I left all of these totems here. Eh, whatever. I've gone 3,100 days without using a totem. I don't think I need them. This kelp farm is actually super sick, I gotta say. When it doesn't break, but of course, it breaks all the time. I just love having the moving parts in this game. It's so cool. Like, it's not efficient to have the kelp all the way over there end up in a storage room down below my feet here, but I still think it's sick. And maybe this isn't the most efficient entrance, but it's pretty cool. We still gotta name you, Dave. I don't really care enough. And I never really have used any of this kelp either. Probably the most complex part of this ocean monument, and I don't even use it. Wow, the connected textures do not work very well in here, that's for sure. This place looks broken. Ah, the sign of a good home. The off-centered bed, the fence post, the 3 crafting tables. That's what you want to see on your Zillow posting. It's a good view, though. Definitely a good view. I do really like this place. I think this is where I probably had the most fun in the game. I think it's where I try to do things that I had never done before, like having a really crazy villager system, a crazy kelp farm, and the build, obviously, is the biggest project I had done. It's a good project. I'm still really proud of it. But it was a bit of a weird time when I wrapped this one up because I finished this project and then I immediately took the longest break I ever have from this world up until now. Because I did the Deceit series, which was a ton of fun. But I think after taking 4 weeks off and coming back to this world, I think that partially contributed to the lost feeling that I had. I'd say this project is probably the biggest turning point in this world for me. And sadly, it's not one that I think was a very good turning point. Because I think this is sort of where I lost myself a little bit. My 3 big projects that I had worked on for the 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000 days were projects that I did for me. But I chose to build in the Nether because I think it's just what I felt was right for a Minecraft series. I don't want to be here. I don't like it here. But I thought it's what people would want to watch, and that's not the best reason to build stuff. I've really let this place go, it looks like. What this was going to be was a potion brewery. Not really an automatic one, but just a place that I could store all the ingredients and collect them easily and then brew them, which I never actually got to building a room to brew them in. But I had my nether wart farm, and I think I was actually gonna brew upstairs somewhere. I don't even know where would have been good to actually put brewing stands. I guess right in the middle here. But while I'm not a big fan of this project, I mean, there is some good to come out of it. This was the first time that I had actually built a structure, an actual building from scratch. And I think it was on a really good path. I only did the front. Yeah, the back definitely does not look as good as the other side. But it was still good practice. And I think it did end up helping with what I did next. We never did end up building anything here. This was gonna be a lava farm that I was gonna make to replace this temporary one that I have. I think that could have been a good floor plan. That looked like it was gonna be something pretty cool. Monster School, I feel like, is also a good example of me losing myself a little bit. Because, I'll be honest, I don't really care about this stuff. The Halloween mobs are cool and all, but it's just like they just exist. But since it was Halloween in my hardcore world, I felt like I had to actually put the time in to collect all of these and store them somewhere like I had done the first year playing. It was cool the first year, but I had already seen all these guys before. I saw them the year previously. I don't really care about collecting them. And I think when you do something just because you feel like you're supposed to, it sort of does diminish your motivation a little bit. It took me a long time to think of the word diminish. Holy, I don't even know if that's right. Is that a good use of diminish? I think my days of collecting Halloween mobs are done. I've seen them all. They're cool. You can't really do anything with them, but they're cool. This place does have a lot of potential. And I'm not saying I'll never want to return to the Nether to build, but I wanted to leave it behind until I had a better reason to build here. Plus, it was very hard to want to build here when 1.18 came out. The new terrain was so exciting and I was just sitting in here, ignoring it. This was a lot of fun. I did have a lot of fun working on this. I don't think a build has to be pretty to be fun. This is my first Wither Skeleton farm ever. And I did it in hardcore. Anyway, we're on our way to the last major piece to this world. And I hope you've enjoyed watching a world tour in this format. I think with my upcoming plans, I kind of wanted to give my unfiltered thoughts and just kind of run this all in one take. Because I have a mix of feelings about this world currently. And I think when those feelings are so complex, it's hard to really make a coherent script and video for it. Anyway, my latest main build of this world. And there have been some changes here that actually have not made it into any episodes yet. It probably looks a little bit different than some people have seen. My 1.18 base so far is a mess. There's no denying that. But I think it's a pretty cool collection of builds, at least. In a beautiful setting, too. I definitely chose the right spot to build. That mountain is S tier 1.18 quality. I knew when I found this valley that I did want it to sort of resemble a little town. But I had almost no idea how to build something like that, so it sort of just became a collection of small test projects, I'd say. Buildings that don't really serve much purpose, some that don't look amazing. Yeah, I must have spent 5 minutes on this one. And while I do think I was up to something much better than I was in the Nether here, it still just did not feel right. Because while it felt right to build out in the new world terrain, since I'd had this world so long before, I had to do it thousands and thousands of blocks away. So far from my home that I'd spent so long building on my first 1,000 days. As much as I do like what I have out here, I still can't help but feel lost. I don't think there's a better word to describe it other than lost. I don't really know what I'm doing, or why I'm doing it. I'm envisioning projects out here that I already have in other places in the world at my main base. Wanting to make a house, a storage area, farms, villager trading, all things that I have. I will say though, the farms that I do have out here are way cooler than anything I have at my first base. Look at that pumpkin go. I still love moving parts. But so after hitting 4,000 days in this world, I did finally acknowledge the problem that I had with motivation. And I spent all this time trying to figure out why I was feeling what I was feeling, and also what I should do to fix it. And the cause that I land on goes back to the ocean monument. When I hit a group of such exciting milestones, my brain did want that to be the climax of the season. Having my Minecraft world be the product that I had mentioned earlier, a time capsule of my final year of graduate school, would have been such a cool place to end it. But at the same time, on the other side of my brain, I was on the mindset where I had to do what I thought I was supposed to do, which was to keep playing, because in a hardcore world, you play until you die. That's just how it goes. And it started to hurt my motivation because everything that I had built after the ocean monument, in the back of my head, I knew that I was hurting that product that was there. It was no longer a collection of my free time through a significant period of my life. It was that, plus just some random extra on top of it, which isn't good. I almost feel like it's wrong to keep building in this world. But it's gone so long past the 3,000 days now that I feel like there's no more harm to be done. What's done is done, and that's just how it is. And what I don't like is that now playing in this world is just a reminder of what I shouldn't have done, I feel like. I think that's how I am feeling about it. I do really like this world. I've learned a lot playing in it. Even in the 2 projects that I've worked on past 3,000 days. And I am happy with how they've turned out. And I'm thankful that I've met all of you through it. But I think I am ready to put this world on pause for a little while. I don't believe in quitting Minecraft worlds. I don't think you're ever fully done with a Minecraft world. Unless you die in hardcore, of course. That is a thing that you are quitting at that point. You have to. But I think this one's got to go on pause. If I'm not motivated to play in it, I'm not motivated to make videos on it. And if I force myself to, it's going to be pretty apparent to all of you, I would think. But I think what's to come is actually going to be more exciting, and I hope you see it that way. I started this world with almost 0 experience in Minecraft and no hardcore at all. And I really had no idea what I was doing at all. I feel like this is the world where I truly learned to play the game. And now I'm so excited to start a new series where I already know how to play the game. My ability to create things that will be exciting to all of you is exponentially higher than it was at the start of this world. So here's what I'm gonna say. I don't know exactly what series I'll start next or when it's going to start, but in 2023, I will have a new Minecraft series focused on building again. I just gotta figure out what I wanna do. I was gonna put a castle here. And I still can. I think it's good that I have this here because it means that whenever I return to this world, I'm gonna have something big to work on. Quite the chore I'm gonna have to do. And quite the thing that I'm gonna have to learn to do too. I have no idea how to build a castle. You know, there's something else we need to do actually. One tap, do you wanna come over here? Thank you. One tap, this is a very special time. For making it to 4,000 days, I say, congratulations. I wish I had particles on to see the hearts. Moongo, Mango, Coco, the llamas that I still haven't named. And where's Puppo at? Where did I put Puppo? Puppo and Mabel, where are they at? Mabel? Still not watching the copper? That's fine. You did a really good job. Oh, that's right, Puppo was here to watch the 4,000 day sunrise with us. Congratulations, Puppo. I'm gonna end the tour right here. Another special spot to me. We did manage to keep this world from 0 all the way up to 100,000 subscribers, and we were live, standing right on this tree, when it actually happened. Another great memory that I got to share with all of you, and I'm so thankful and so happy for all of them. Thank you all for watching this video and coming on this journey with me. I know it's a lot different than stuff that I normally make today, and I'll get back to making the, the regular kind of videos that I like to make on the next one. But I'm glad I got a chance to talk to you all. Anyway, that's all I got to say. I'll see you later, I guess. I'm gonna be mad at you guys. I'm gonna ban everybody. Whoa! Look at that! Look at that!
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir! We did it, dude.
Yes.
I'm gonna hit all of my sounds. Holy moly. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Oh, frick, I don't want that one. Thank you, guys. If we pass back over...